and Wentzville growth was nothing short of phenomenal. 322% growth in 10 years. And as you can plainly see just by driving by on Interstate 70, this growth has brought construction of new homes, businesses, schools, highways, and other structures. With that growth has come an increased need for the building of infrastructure. And wastewater treatment is a basic element of that necessary infrastructure. It also means that planning for facilities of the future needs to be part of what we all do. So I'm happy to announce today that the Department of Natural Resources has issued a $20.6 million low-interest loan to the city of Wentzville for its water reclamation center to make wastewater treatment and collection system improvements right here in Wentzville and St. Charles County. Now, it should be noted that these types of applications are very competitive. These projects are of vital importance in this growing area and will really help build a regional facility. They will help us provide better protection for water quality, and they will provide the capacity to handle the increased needs for a growing population now and for years to come. So in addition, as these construction projects get underway, they'll put about 100 skilled workers on the job to build them over the next 2 years, and the low interest rate through the Clean Water State Revolving Fund will save the taxpayers of this area an estimated $10 million over the life of the loan, which will free up dollars to continue to move forward in an efficient and effective manner. Now, in addition to the State Revolving Loan Fund, I am pleased to announce the city is also receiving $748,015 and a grant to implement the Dry Branch Watershed Clear Stormwater and Green Parks project. The grant will be augmented by a local match of $500,000 for a total of more than $1.2 million. This project will assess and improve water quality in the watershed and make stormwater that goes into the watershed cleaner and clearer by identifying the pollutants and their sources and prioritizing solutions to reduce them. Investing in our wastewater treatment systems and stormwater runoff protects one of Missouri's most precious resources, our waterways, and carries many more benefits in the short term and the long term. The Department of Natural Resources and its partners continue to make significant progress in the protection of our air, land, water resources, and I know that the department is delighted to be a part of these projects. With that, I'd like to have the Director, Ms. Parker Pauley, make a few comments, and we'll be glad to hear from the Mayor. Sarah?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Governor Nixon. It is absolutely a pleasure to be here today, in part just to be out of Jeff City for a while. Funding for Wentzville's $20 million low-interest loan comes from Missouri's Clean Water State Revolving Loan Fund program. This fund is a joint effort between the Department of Natural Resources and the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency to provide millions of dollars of low-interest, cost-effective financing to communities each year for clean water infrastructure improvements. As the Governor mentioned, we are also so very pleased to provide the City of Wentzville with $748,000 in the form of a grant. The 319 grants funds can be used to address non-point source pollution through a variety of activities such as education, conservation, and restoration activities. Now, the Dry Branch Watershed Project will assess the watershed and develop a watershed management plan that identifies non-point source pollutants and their sources. This project in Wentzville will integrate green infrastructure and fund training opportunities and non-point source pollution education at the Wentzville Law Enforcement Center and a city park. The city's projects will help address the stormwater runoff issue in the area and will stand as examples that can be replicated throughout the area and throughout the state. Thanks so much for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, Director Pauley. I'd now like to ask the Mayor to make a few statements.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you, Director Pauley. We are so blessed and fortunate as Americans to have the wastewater treatment systems we have and clean potable drinking water when over 70% of the world can't even draw a glass of clean water without worrying about waterborne diseases. So I'm very, very proud of the staff that we have here in Wentzville, and the fact that we were competing against every other city in the state that had the same needs is a real testimony to the dedication, service, and heartfelt work that our staff does. And I want to thank the voters in Wentzville who approved the bond issues, and thank the Board of Aldermen that had the courage to put the issues on the ballot. These 100 jobs will produce secondary and tertiary economic effects in the community that will reverberate 3 to 7 times. So that $15.4 million as some economists say, can be multiplied at least 3 times in economic impact, and some say 7 times. So thank you, Governor. Thank you, Director Polly, for your efforts and being here today to draw attention to a very good plan that our staff has put together.
That concludes our formal program, and let me conclude. I'll get around and say goodbye to everybody. This is how you win in this economy. You take public dollars and you're really smart with them. You use those public dollars to get the strength of the private sector, which in this situation is a number of contractors that are going to be doing this work. And you take the workers that we have, the best workers in the country right here in the Show Me State, to build these improvements. Thank you all for having us today.